I'm going to shift gears from the detail, how to program, the details behind, but like Marcus said yesterday in his presentation, trust FactSage and making sure the input into FactSage is correct, and you can trust FactSage where the clever people like you developing the tools can do the background work. Now, I'm familiar with FactSage from around, I will say 1995, for already 3 years, where I started with SASL for fact application to apply that in where to operate the fixed bed gasifier. Because I'm not going into the details of what type of technologies, but the slag formation in entrained flow, fixed bed, and fluid bed are totally different. And you need to know where to operate your gasifier, not slagging or fouling up the gasifier, not blocking the gasifier. This project is the first approach that we conducted, the feed-forward approach. It was a DOE-sponsored project from 2023 for the last 3 years. And standing here, I can successfully mention to you that the project was commissioned in May this year, and it's running now for 6 weeks without any trouble successfully. 4 parties involved in the project. It was Lehigh University, who was the client. They built a fixed bed gasifier, 1 megawatt gasifier, to prove municipal solid waste gasification. Volkswagen at the back end was supplying the e-charger facility, and they were on that gasifier 10 hours per day, full-time, for 3 or 4 cars to showcase that municipal solid waste can supply power to e-charger at the back. But this is not what I want to talk to you about. The 2 parties involved from the side, I was involved in the fact simulation, the prediction of where to operate the gasifier, and then SpectraFlow Analytics, and Petra attended last year, did the online measurement of the feed material. Now, for coal, it's easy. You know a coal mine, and I can predict the slag properties for the next 6 months. I know exactly the geology, and that is how Sasol is doing it, Reliance, Shenhua, and other companies for coal. But now we're shifting gears to municipal solid waste. It's a total different scenario. The inorganics varying not only from location to location, but from time to time, from hour to hour, as it's going into the gasifier. So the 2 parts where I was involved is the gasifier control point of view, the application of fact from online measurement into a fact model, and then I call it an empirical model. The clever statisticians call it a trained surrogate model, but for me, there's an empirical model based from fact results where the output from the online analyzer is going directly into the empirical model to change the temperature of the gasifier. I'm not going to SpectraFlow Analytics and show you that. It is in the presentation, which you can read through. So what we did was, there was a real-time installation from SpectraFlow Analytics before the gasifier on the feed on the conveyor. Then a detailed statistical data gathering on the inorganics. A full analysis on all the details. But for statistical reasons, in the amount of data that we need to build the statistical model, we focus on silica, alumina, calcium, iron, and sodium. Those 5 parameters were the drive behind developing the model, which I put into the fact, an Equilib, and it's a fixed bed gasifier, and I will show you what happened where. On that part, on that slide there, all of you are familiar with a slag liquid formation. We're running at a flow point temperature in entrained flow at the top part, fixed bed in the middle, but we also need to look at variation, because the gasifier cannot tolerate variation too much based on the silica acid-base ratios. The value proposition, and we base this on a very small plant, on a 1 megawatt plant. And to summarize this slide, what will feed-forward control be of value? If the operator is understanding where to operate the gasifier, he can operate the gasifier not to slag down the gasifier, to foul down the gasifier. If a gasifier is slagging up, for example, a Sasol gasifier, it's 7 days out of operation. you need to dig it out from the top, open up the whole gasifier, and then start up again. So calculate the cost around one gasifier down. The payback on a system like this is minimal. You have, within 1 year, you have the payback on your instrument, your feed-forward control, and the analytical part conducting the work. Now, this is very important. I have to stand still, but I like moving around as well, but I will not. When you look at municipal solid waste, this is the grid that the gasifier will see. If you can see white and blue, it's totally different things. With coal, you see black, and normally, the variation is little. Yes, there are variation of calcium, silica, but not to the extent that you see colors like that. This is how different MSW is going to gasifier on an hourly basis. So what the upfront people conducted was scans on a grid and then getting outputs. It's very small. You don't have to be too concerned about that. But this is the variation on each grid that you see there. There you can see the variation on the analytical data. That analytical data is then going back to a fact on the other side, where we need to operate in the fixed bed mode. We need to know exactly what the slag flow profile is for each block going into that gasifier. If you're outside, either higher or lower, then you change your oxygen to feed ratio. And that's what the operator need to understand. Going forward, in the old days, or in real time with coal, you have initial deformation temperature variation over time in short periods where the calcium variation is taking place. You also have a window of operation change with percentage up and down. If you change up and down inside the block, that's not the concern. The concern is if you go outside this block. And this is where you need to control your gasifier. I'm going to skip this. Let me do another two things. To minimize time, because to run 122 times 5 fact runs are taking a lot of time. So from a statistical point of view, we said entrained flows run around the liquidus, the 100% slag point. Between the 50 and 25%, this is where the Lehigh gasifier must operate. So very important that we have those points between the 50% and a 25% slag point. So from my fact output, I supplied the liquidus temperature of a 25%, 50%, and 100% liquidus. That's my output that went into the statistical models. And based on that, and the output from the online analyzer, a model at the back end from the gasifier was telling the operator how to change the oxygen to steam ratio. So the statistical approach, it was based on a neural network as well as a Gaussian approach. I did not do the statistical work. One of my colleagues handled that at the back end. The first approach we did was an iteration where we correlate the output from the fact forward and backward in one iteration. The explanation was, if I can explain this, I did the fact, the neural network predicts something, I went back to my fact model and run it again and see the correlation. After the first approach, the correlation was only at around about 85%. We did a second iteration of data, double up the amount of data points, and we came back to around a 94-95% correlation on the 5 elements that we selected for the gasifier. This is a couple of statistical things that I will skip. Guan, who did the statistical work behind that, did both linear regression and the Gaussian regression approach. I'm going to quickly scan through the spectra flow analytics analyzer if you're interested for that. You get a number of online analyzer tools. Some of them are not very accurate for specific elements. We've selected the SpectraFlow tool, where the variation between the elements that we selected fall within the boundaries of our 5 elements. The energy is absorbed. Every 7 seconds, there's a scan. Every minute, after about 9 scans, 1 data point is then sent back to the empirical model. So every minute, the gasifier operator can get a data point to operate the gasifier. We increase that to 15 minutes. So the operator will not change the gasifier operating conditions after 15 minutes. So we may see a trend, and the reason for the 15 minutes is because it's a 1 ton per day unit. Within 15 minutes, the variation or the change in feedstock in the gasifier is small enough not to cause blocking up the full gasifier. A number of these plants, I'm going to skip that, a number of these plants are running in different industries. In single elements, platinum industries, cobalt extraction, cement industries. Well known in the cement industries. If you want to know more about this in your company site, I can gladly send the information forward to you. I'm going to stop here. The rest is really technical on SpectraFlow. Any questions from your side, Stefan?
A lot of time. Cool. Yeah, thank you very much, Johan.